Hey there, and welcome back to Off the Rails, an educational monster train series where we explore content mods for the game. This series was surprisingly popular when I was doing it recently, and I had a lot of requests to try some more things. Now, I don't know exactly what all of this is going to look like. There are a lot of mods out there for the game that do a whole bunch of things. There are a lot of clan mods and things, and we'll see if I end up covering them all or what, or I don't know. But at a minimum, there were a lot of requests to try more variety with the Pathogens clan mod. So I wanted to get a few episodes in of that. I feel like I'll probably do, I don't know, a good handful of them. I kind of don't want to approach this by playing all of the varieties, right? I don't think I want to go Pathogens and then just do all 12 options here. Maybe I'll do one of each and then pick which one I want. I don't know. Maybe I'll just random a few times. My initial thought walking into this was that I would random a bunch because eventually you'll see variety that way. And it even runs within the same clan combo are not that similar usually, so I don't know. We'll see. I haven't run into any of the rare units. There's a lot of things I haven't seen in my initial coverage of this, so I was like, all right, yeah, sure, let's play a few more. So here we are. So we're gonna do that. I don't even remember what the last episode I did of this was. It's been a few weeks at this point, and I don't keep track of that stuff in my notes, so ripperino there. But at a minimum, we'll just kind of keep going on and see what comes up. I will add, if there are any specific mods that you want me to cover, specific things that you're just like, hey, I would be interested in you trying this and giving thoughts. I tend to be very vocal about my opinions on things, so hopefully none of the creators, if they watch these things, are offended by any of my thoughts. But I'm happy to give feedback and try stuff out. It seems fun. I play this game a billion hours, so at the minimum, I can provide some value, right? I can record some stuff and give some thoughts and hopefully help out. Anyway, we're going to try this out and see how this goes. So without further ado, if you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, or whatever, and then let's get playing. I am just going to random here. I figure if we run into a million times the same clan combo, I will just pick something then. But for now, let's do it, see what we get. Yeah, let's go. I am going to start with some more carrier, I think, as opposed to Virion. I mean, not as opposed to Super Virus. And we'll switch. Maybe we'll switch back and forth and just try things out a bit that way. That seems reasonable. All right, let's go. There are some combos and things I wanted to try a bit, so maybe we'll get lucky and run into them. This is a good clan combo. I'm looking forward to this. This is kind of one I was kind of interested in, actually. Alright, well, hopefully you're all doing well. I'm doing just fine. Nothing too crazy to report. And yeah, this is actually an extra day of Monster Train recording that I'm doing. I was considering actually playing video games for myself today, but decided I wanted to catch up a bit more on recording. I've fallen behind a lot, so even every episode I get done here is an episode saved that I have to record later. So let's make it happen. Alright. Today we are Default Pathogens, Exile Awoken. We have Root Seeds. I actually think I might have rolled into this before. I don't know. But either way, I think there's a lot of good opportunities here, so we'll go ahead and give it a go. Our enemies today are Rage Talos, Cursefell. What is this? Sap Seraph? Yes. We have Feverish Response. This is the card that does damage with magic power to both your front unit and the enemy front unit, so it's a weird one, that's for sure. There's pretty much no world I want to do, I don't know, 150 damage to my own unit, but I suppose this is fine. It's kind of like impressive, but you don't get to target. That's actually a great comparison. It's impressive, but you don't get to target who you play it on, and it always kills your front unit instead of an imp. So, interesting. We have Razor Sharp Edge and Room for Growth. This is a double space plus summon to the floor. Hyper efficient Space Prism, actually. It just costs a lot of Ember to play. It's pretty good, I think. Although it's a little hard to use in the clan, I've found. But we'll see. Alright, temples today are 2, 3, 5, 7. 4 temples. Seems good. Nothing crazy. Dupe on 8 is on the steel side. It's fine. We have a removal dupe on 7. Otherwise unremarkable, competing with Steel Shop, no magic here. Another ring with no magic on 6. We have a Trinket Shop with Vortex and Money. and then a Horde in the middle. That's pretty darn good. Then there's a Steel Shop competing. We have a no Steel Shop Ring 5, Magic Shop Cave competing with Hellvent and Horde. Pretty okay all around, no removals here. And then a Merchant of Steel Awoken banner on 4 with a Pathogens banner, Vortex, Horde, which means we do get double Magic Shops early, as seen here. This is okay, because Root Seeds definitely rewards early Magic Shops a lot, if I want those banners, so you get a lot of flexibility here. We do get a lot of banner choices. I'm going to probably prioritize Steel Shop Pathogens banner just to try out more of these guys. And then we have Awoken banner with the Magic Shops on rings 2 and 3. So pretty good. Nothing too crazy there. I am going to click the Forge first. It is maybe not usual for me, but I'm going to do this because this is a new clan. And I want to try to plan around the paths that maybe I don't have memorized. So we have Patient Zero, which has Resolve Summon 1 Recombinant Virus. This is basically Virion every turn, which is fine. Then we have Bioengineer, draw a unit and apply +10, +5 to all units in hand. Let me go ahead and pop open the logbook and briefly look at what we see here. So unfortunately we didn't get Immunologist, which I think is the best one. Patient Zero is interesting, but it's like Imparade, except it doesn't kill its own stuff and it has very few tools to do it. I don't actually know what the top level of Carrier is, which is a bit interesting. I think Carrier might be decent, good, maybe? I don't know. It's a toughie. I'm not really sure. I want to try Bioengineer. We're going to click that. Yes, okay. Jackstrips is almost certainly the play here, I think. Reminding myself that Virion kills the back enemy unit. So right. So that means and it doesn't cascade the way you want it to because it targets the back. So, and it moves front to back. Yeah, I see. Okay. So theoretically you could get value out of this by like getting this on the back and then pulling them forward, but that's really hard to achieve. So I think in practice we're going to just take Jackstrips to solve this problem entirely. We're going to grab money. Should make the early game reasonably clean. It also answers initial enemies as well, so we can freely take things like this trial. Alright, this is pretty good roll, right? So we get... Now if we do +10, +5, it actually makes the Train Stewards better than Carrier. So, right? Yes, the Train Stewards are good. Great, we'll just play all 3 of the big stewards here. Cool. They all die anyway. I don't want to accidentally give him any... Yeah, I'm not going to give him any slays here. A strong argument, I'm going to buff middle. Yeah, and then he'll die to Jackstrips, and that's good. Great news. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and blast mid-floor, actually. Although I guess I can do Virion blast mid-floor, and we actually keep our guy alive, which is nice. Play the Razor Sharp. We should cruise here, right? I think. I can just do 50 damage to him there, which is pretty great. We win on top floor here, so that's nice. Yeah, easy mode. Guess if I play this, it's probably pretty okay. I guess he tramples? That's an interesting one. I didn't really think about it. That's fine. We're going to win on top floor anyway. Yeah, Contagion, right. Doesn't do any immediate damage. All good. Summon some random dudes and then go for it. Alright, cool. Easy stuff. We get everything. No problems. Booster Shot. Gain 4 health. Reserve. Draw 1 card next turn. This is an interesting card because you want to play this, but the health is okay. It's fine, right? Offsets Razor Sharp Edge in an okay fashion. Deal 2 damage and apply Contagion 6 to an enemy unit. Another Feverish Response. I don't need that. So I'm just debating, should I take anything? Intestinal Rupture is technically a ping. It applies Contagion 6. Can do 2 damage. 2 damage is a really, really bad threshold. It's even worse than 3 damage. Is there any spell in the base game that does 2 damage? That's such a weird threshold to target here, right? I'm trying to think if there are any that survive. I guess Glimmer is the only one I can come up with, but it is straight up AoE, so that's not a really great comparison. I don't know if there are any other great examples. There might be a couple, like Torch, but Torch is a starter, so of course it's worse. I guess everything that's not a starter is going to be at least 3 or higher, I'm pretty sure. Interesting. But regardless, this is a pretty weak ping. A 10 in piercing does not give it a lot of push. You'd need something like Tempered Talisman to really make it go. Man, I don't want this. I think I would rather find something else better. In Contagion 6, if a unit has Contagion stacks at least equal to its health. So the challenge is that on healer waves on the Divinity, they heal first after taking this damage, and then they trigger Contagion. This means that the Contagion does not actually help you kill them, which is a big bummer, I think, practically. It definitely makes it a lot worse than, say, Flash Freeze, which kills them without too much issue. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Interesting. I wonder if this actually triggers before. A Frostbite. Look at the logbook. I almost returned to menu not thinking about it. Frostbite. Like, let me look at Flash Freeze real fast, because at the end of turn, but this does kill them. So I wonder, maybe it is the same timing. I don't know. I'm not actually sure. We should have a ping, so let's just grab this card anyway. We'll stop thinking about it. Then they give me an adaptive mutation in... Wow, adaptive mutation, huh? Is this good here? I don't think so, but it's wild to see that in my common card pack. It's a good thing I started with Razor Sharp Edge or I'd be mad. Steel Enhancer's probably it. The nice thing about Steel Enhancer is it's free, it's +3/+3, it provides some scaling. I think it's a good complement to Root Seeds card draw. We'll grab it, it's fine. Sure. Hellhorn, Pathogens, Banner. Alright, let's go that way. I want to look at it. We'll see what we roll into here. Endless in the shop. Okay. We get Carrier, Asymptomatic Carrier, which is Contagion to the floor. That seems not helpful here. Right. Antigen Mimic rewards Culture by applying Regen 1 to friendly unit. Actually, no. Restore 5 health to all friendly units and apply Regen 1. So, the way this is worded, this only applies Regen 1 to this unit. It doesn't apply it to allies. Which is interesting. So, this guy's a tank, essentially. What's his infusion? Does this make, like, Awoken Hollow function? No, it doesn't give you that restore health. You could go the other direction, though. Put Awoken Hollow into this man, and then that's pretty decent, at least. Interesting. Problem is, of course, Awoken Hollow is going to cause issues with cultivates on Virions, so pretty poor synergy anyway. Honestly, both of these units are kind of bad here. I'm going to take the Mimics I don't think I have before. I think that's reasonable. Let's see. Would I plus 25 and Endless this guy? I don't think so. I think I will give him some health, but I don't think I ever Endless him. No, I don't think so. Spell Chain. Spell Chain is good on Razor Sharp, I think. Nothing too crazy to say about that. We'll do it. Intrinsic. I could technically get +2 space on Intrinsic, but it's a bit expensive. I don't know if I want that much space here on turn 1. Definitely not doing an infusion. I don't feel particularly strong right now. Yeah, I think we move on and just kind of chill. See what we roll into otherwise. I'll take this unit draft. I want to look at more stuff. Some kind of backline. Some kind of offensive scaling. Let's go to the logbook and just think real quick. I would like to see unit. I got both the tank weirdos. I'm looking for, what is this guy? Roaming Macrophage. Has additional attack equal to the amount of contagion on the floor. Interesting. So this guy got changed. He used to be quick and some other stuff. The interesting thing about this is he's actually pretty good with the adaptive mutation I skipped. So if I had seen him first, that would have been a cool play. But, oh well. Simplex Virus Diabolicus. This is the guy that summons other guys, which is a pretty important strategy for culture, I think. Then you've got Spliced Monstrosity, which gains Shard 1 and spikes per shard. Okay. There's really not a lot of options. You kind of are just looking for Virodemonologist here, pretty much. And I guess the rare units that I have not seen yet, so I have no idea what they are. This is a weird one. You don't really have good offensive scaling anywhere. You could maybe make the roaming macrophage work. So maybe taking the antigen mimic was a mistake. I should have grabbed the carrier in case I see the macrophage, right? Maybe so. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. I'll have to think about this because I'm having struggles thinking through how you build a run that adds damage to a floor, right? Yeah, it's tough. Play big guy upstairs. That seems good. I'm going to blast the dude downstairs. Alright. Now, culture is not a bad play. I do think we should just put down Razor Sharps first so our main floor crushes a bit. Should be good. And then I can just play... Interesting. Yeah, okay. So I will play... this stuff. I guess it does heal everyone. It looks like it does, actually. Interesting. Okay. Alright, interesting. That's not something I expected. Play Virion. I'm gonna blast this man in front. Seems okay to me. We managed to clear the floor. If I ping this guy, it should be okay. I'll play... I guess I'm gonna honestly play... He heals everyone, so I'm going to play Virion and Virion here just to make it work. Guy dies here. It's okay. We do 1 billion D damage, so I'm not terribly worried about it thanks to Razor Sharp Edge, but it's a little dicey. I don't feel terribly confident. Bacterial Growth. Now that has a ping. 5 damage. Reserve, if I don't need it... I summon damage, I get a lot more. I do, however, think I need Viral Outcropping. If I end up on any kind of culture strategy, I pretty much need this, or else we're going to suffer. So, yeah, we already have a ping. It'll have to do. Steel Enhancer again, Sharpen, Sting. Sting, I think, is better than skipping, so I'll take it. Virodemonologist, that'll have to do, I think. It says damage. Awoken Hollow is a weird synergy here, though it's not bad, right? I mean, the problem is you get the heal and then you immediately cultivate into a Virion, which is garbage, so we don't want that. Instead, I think Virodemonologist is the play. The only downside is, man, you're really limited in how you can actually culture, right? The culture plays are very limited. I only triggered this, what, 5? Plus 6 plus 7, 8 times the entire run, so I literally max out at plus 32 damage. It's quite weak. I guess I have to... It's one of those cases where you pretty much need that Simplex Virus guy in order to actually live, right? Because if you don't have it, how do I scale that? Maybe the better play is to always take the Resolve Summon carrier. Maybe this one is just really bad and I should have gone the other path, because if he were on the floor as the tank, you could have him in front, he summons guys and you scale, right? I think maybe this one's a bait. Maybe this one's not actually good with the clan. It gives you a little bit of a burst. It's good if you're going to throw away the strategy of pathogens, right? But because I'm with Awoken, I can't do that. Interesting. So it was a mistake to take him in this case. Got it. Well, that's okay, right? It's fine, I think. I was hoping for a -2 there. That would have been kind of neat. Would have been fun. That's okay, though. Intrinsic again. I mean, I don't mind Spell Chain Razor Sharp Edge again. It is great damage scaling, but it's just, I don't know, not that exciting, I suppose. Plus 10. I may as well buff one of these things. Every little buff there helps. Double stack, I think we're skipping, and we're going to reroll here. We do see a holdover, so how do I feel about this? What do you hold over here? Razor Sharp Edge? It's not bad. It definitely helps with doing damage, as it turns out. We'll click it, right? We'll click it. I'm going to put a plus 10 in the other one over here. We spend some money to beef up these things. I think it's good. Shattered Shell. I mean, one of these is essentially the vessel that I want to be pumping up. The thing that I'm worried about the most is that culture gain plus 2, with how difficult it is to culture, I actually think the infusion is a bait, right? This is a potential, this is like worse than Harvest, right? Because Harvest I can at least endless a unit. All of my culture targets are consumed. Every single one of them consumes. So this would result in an awful stat gain. Now, of course, you could also just ignore that. I have a holdover Razor Sharp Edge. It's not terrible, I suppose. I'll take the Husk Hermit regardless. He's correct to have. I'm gonna think for a moment about this. I don't know. You just go in there. I mean, I don't have to make this decision at the moment. I think we hang out and just kind of click the cave right now. Ah, Wingmaker. That's an interesting choice. I could, however, make Tiny Hermit, which is fun, I suppose. Tiny Hermit is pretty strong. Yeah, that's true. Tiny Hermit is good. I'm a fan. It's almost certainly better than the alternatives here. So, now, Wingmaker's not terrible, but I mean, arguably it's really good, in fact. It just kind of doesn't help the run. I do think it's better to take the Consolation and make Tiny Hermit here. It's just a much stronger play overall, I think. I can't think of any better scaling here than Vero Demonologist, which is a bit of a bummer. I mean, maybe if I see a Shattered Shell, I prefer that, actually. The only downside, I have to wait. Maybe. I think we chill and we move on, actually. We don't do anything else right now. I don't think I need this with the holdover Razor Sharp Edge. We're definitely strong enough to make it past Talos, so that's at least something. But it's definitely a question of what is the right play. I'm going to do it this way because it gets him shot, and that's good. I also can just kind of push a lot of damage through right now, which I'm a big fan of. Play out a Train Steward, it's good. Oh no, Carrier died, but that's okay with me. It lets us play the Mimic Friend freely, and we get some damage scaling, which is nice and cool. And then we blast the friend downstairs for 100. Entire floor is getting cleared is nice. It's weird because unless I'm summoning more than one, this is kind of a waste, right? Which is a bit odd, but fine. I'm just going to sack units, I think. Yeah, he'll go upstairs, he'll punch a guy, that's fine. This is a good example of a turn where you want to do this because you actually generate stuff. Apply some Contagion, I suppose. It's fine. Nothing too crazy. It'll scale up, but it won't really do too terribly much to us. We're doing a bunch of damage, so I'm not really worried here. I'm over 100 here, so we're fine. It's just a question of, do we actually win in the end? Great question. Blast here, do a bunch of damage, all good. I'd probably like to stay above 16 in the health department, so let's just not take the other Razor Sharp here, and we chill. We should easily win this with our damage. I have little fear. Cool. Easy mode. Alright, so what is the play from here? I would like something that scales, and I feel like we just don't have options for it. multi-strand DNA. I've said this before, but this is essentially One Horn's Tome from the Unofficial Balance Patch. It's basically identical except it's replicate. So, which is good. That's a good card. The question is just, is it right? It makes me very vulnerable against the sweep of the Divinity, which is a big concern. It is a concern, for sure. I think Awoken's Rail Spike is probably stronger, if I'm being honest. Although I actually really like Cycle of Life here. We have a lot of Razor Sharp action. I'm actually going to take Cycle of Life, I think. We get Roaming Macrophage. That seems fine, right? That seems fine. Additional attack equal to the amount of contagion on this floor. How much contagion can I realistically add? Very little, right? We don't have the really good culture unit. So I think, unfortunately, the correct answer is Animus of Will, and that's the boring answer, but multi-strike good? Alright. Ember is not a terrible idea. I don't hate it here. We have Curse Fell. I think I will grab Ember for the moment. I think it's the right play with all the root seeds and everything. I'm going to go to the right. We have a fine situation for infusions. Alright, I'm going to take the other multi-strike here. I think we're okay. As long as I can keep this floor alive with the Antigen Mimic, we should be all right. Now that is a bit of a tall order, but we're gonna try. I'm going to cut, where is it? Vero Demonologist here. He's not here for the run. Awoken Banner, we're selling it. It's a decent infusion on the Shattered Shell, but I don't think we want that. I'll take the third multi-strike. It's okay. Sure. I will grab money so I can remove stuff. We get Patient Zero Pivot. I actually think that's pretty good. The Patient Zero Pivot is a pretty decent play, right? Yeah, alright, sure. Sure. I think so. It's a decent pivot. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. This won't work very well until we've actually done the infusion of Animus into Husk Hermit. But basically, you play him on the floor. We start turn one with a banner unit, and we always draw the other banner unit, and then when we play him, it, you know, pulls the other one, so we get a turn one setup. That seems very potent. Where am I going next floor? Am I duping anything? It's a good question. Kind of depends on what this temple is. If I got a -2, I would dupe the Cycle of Life, but otherwise, I guess the best thing I might consider duping is like Viral Outcropping. So it's not a bad idea. I would almost prefer going Magic Shop to making things more playable, though. I think we'll hold on to our money then. We're a little low on shards because I haven't felt terribly strong. How good do I feel about Seal of Aggression? I think we're okay, right? I think we're okay. There are draw orders where this works out in our favor. Yeah, I think the angle is you blast bottom floor first, right? Okay, then we go carrier down. Wait a second. Draw unit, right? It doesn't work. Okay, that's not what I wanted to have happen. This doesn't work. Okay, whoops. That's not behaving the way I was imagining in my head. I have to remove all the train stewards for this to work. I was for some reason thinking, it obviously only draws banner units, but that's not true. So I'm actually very far behind. And interesting. So we can't put him on the floor, I don't think. It's wrong to do it? Because he summons a guy is the problem. And then the guy takes the space that I planned for my Husk Hermit, which does need to be on this floor. So I think the right answer is we just go carrier middle, play this here, we do this, we play upstairs, and we hope for the best here, basically. And then we go Hermit here, and our whole plan is basically Virion. Our goal is to add regen via this effect, right? This effect specifically being the regen play up here. Anything that we can get that actually does its job. Okay, well, we killed the 15 by 2. That's not bad. And then we go Sting, Root Seeds, Virion, ping this man, I think, and chill. This guy swings, and then he does eventually die after one round. Okay, this is a good turn because we finally begin doing some actual damage here, which is great work. Good job, go team. I am going to continue regen spamming here. And then I think we just blow the man up on mid-floor, and it's okay. Sure. Alright, we're actually really low on pack shards, so I'm not terribly worried about this boss. We nuke one dude. Does this get rid of... Does the contagion still spread? He gets the contagion, then immediately dies. So it doesn't actually do anything productive. Okay. So I should have shot the guy in front, I suppose. It's okay. These are things we're learning, alright? Things we are learning. Great job. Alright, I think we have enough regen, enough health to make it through this. It's not glamorous, but it is enough, I think. Yeah, we do 200-something damage right now. We'll make it through. Alright. Definitely some improvements we can do. Gnarled Root is actually nice because it makes Cycle of Life add 3 damage, so I will take that for sure. Prolonged Life. Apply Replicate to a friendly unit. Replicate. I don't know what I would want that on. Deal 2 damage to enemy units for each friendly unit spawned this battle. Cryogenic Storage. Return a frozen... A random consume card. I mean, the Cryogenic Storage Infusion is going in Anti-Gen Mimic because that literally is just bringing back Virion spams, which is incredible. A very good play. Ensnare versus Awoken's Rail Spike. I actually think, believe it or not, that Ensnare is... Ooh, actually, Awoken's Rail Spike is real sick. I love Ensnare for mini-bosses, but Awoken's Rail Spike, I can hit the Virions and then bring them back, and it's real cool. I am going to make things cheaper, so we're going to go left. I've decided. I want to do the offensive infusion first here. I think it's important. Intrinsic. Now, there's a question for you. Any intrinsic targets? Not sure yet. We're going to do Animus of Will into Husk Hermit first. It's a pretty good friend. Big fan. Now, we will... Because we'll still benefit from cryogenic storage later, right? Because we'll play him out and get a bunch of stuff back, which is cool. I need to be cautious about any other consume cards that are not specifically the things I want. Like Awoken's Rail Spike is always fine to get back, but yeah, like 20 consume I shouldn't take here. -1s. Root Seeds would be nice to be free. Virion would be nice to be free, actually. Let's just go ahead and do this. Double stack. No, I don't think so. 20 consume, no. Remove consume is not bad, but I think the play is to make things cheaper. I'm going to make a Root Seeds free here. I'm going to buy removals on Train Stewards to increase the likelihood that we actually hit what we want to hit. I'm going to take a look at this cave. Hey man, Trap Shoot, that's a card. I do love Trap Shoot, and if I bring that back with my Resolve trigger, fantastic. So I'm okay with this. Then I also actually have an Intrinsic for that, which is great. Spell Chain this? It's basically a double stack. It's actually pretty decent. It's not as good as if I'd purchased the double stack, but it does save me the 100 gold, so that's fine with me. That feels pretty decent. Heaven Seal. Dangerous, but I think we can get away with it. I have 3 hits on the floor. As long as I do a decent job. I think this doesn't work out unless I can self-ping a Virion. Which maybe is possible? Oh, I did that all wrong. Whoops. Me not remembering how this thing works. You have to play your champion first in this particular instance, then you get the stats. So you go drop, we get bad unit, and then we get this friend. Take card draw. Don't play Virion yet, I think. I think I am going to just get rid of this trap shoot and disable that big scary guy. I do need a ping for this to work. I found it. Fantastic. It makes the space, which lets me play the man, which then lets me steal Enhancer, and we get a Virion. This seems like it should be pretty good because stuff will spawn and then eventually get blasted, and I have the feverish responses to make this function, right? It's pretty decent. And we just keep spamming these things, and eventually cryogenic storage is going to do a lot of heavy lifting. I think this works. I think this works. I can also just... Oh, real bummer that Intestinal Rupture only works on the enemies. Womp womp. That's fine. Okay, we're clearing this floor. That's decent. It's good that things are dying, which is nice. Okay, we get the buff. We're looking okay here. I can play the Viral Outcropping, which does result in everything getting cleared out. That's okay. Sure, sure. All good, all good. I'd like to avoid too much damage on my back friend, so let's give that Cycle of Life a play. 40... That's what, 28? 32 is the real... 42 is actually perfect. So what I should do, in my opinion, is... I think next turn we're dropping Cryogenic Storage. Maybe we offensively kill a unit just to make space here. If I see a Steel Enhancer, we're okay. And then I think this turn is the turn where we play the thing. The cryogenic storage up top, right? Drop him in. We get a ton of stuff. You trap shoot the boss, which is great news. And then, I mean, with that in mind, I don't see how we lose, right? It should be free real estate, pretty much. A lot of regen triggers here as well, and I can even use Razor Sharp offensively to kill one, making space. Yeah, we actually managed to generate a pretty sizable amount of power here, which is pretty cool, I think. So, great. Alright, seems good. The regen doing a decent amount of work. Yeah. Okay, I think this probably works. Vapor Funnel? Yeah, sure. If anything makes it up there, do it to him. I love that. Apply Rooted 2 to an enemy unit. Reserve Descend friendly and enemy units on this floor. It's good. Right? Rooted is a good effect. It's expensive. And I think this effect is not bad. It's not bad, but it's not... I'm trying to think about this Reserve Descend. This is like Cave-In, but weird, right? You can use it to... Yeah, you can use it to reassemble a floor, but... which is good, but it's not what you're really looking for. because it also overstacks enemies. Now, Divinity's waves are pretty wide, so you're not going to actually be able to drop too much, but you can create an accidental superfloor. I'm debating if I want this. It's a bit expensive, but it's good. I think I take this. It's a good thing I took Fel's Remorse. We're going to take Quick Tome. This is an easy selection, fortunately. We want Quick on our guy in the back. Seems good. Now, unfortunately, the downside, again, I guess I've done this before. Quick hurts because enemies don't attack you. I can also just not play that if it ends up being a problem, so that's fine. I'm going to go left for the removals. I can potentially afford a relic, which is fun. When a unit with Contagion dies, it deals damage equal to 1/2 its Contagion stacks to the front enemy unit. When you summon the second unit during a turn, draw +1 and gain +1. This is pretty likely to trigger, right? Because I'm upgrading Carrier, so I'll always get this. This is a draw plus Ember relic, which is really strong. That should be awesome. So I'm going to take that. We're going to dumpster the train stewards here. I need my units to be carefully selected. Your champion can be upgraded, but all units have 1 fewer upgrade slots. Now that's okay because I've already upgraded them. So what would be the carrier upgrade that I would care about? I don't actually think I want that, as funny as it would be. Root Split Mask is just way better by like leaps and bounds. Yeah, we'll take it. Sure. Okay, now the only thing I haven't been able to remove yet is I need to infuse the cryogenic storage into Antigen Mimic. Right? That's the real pickup. So I'm good with that. That'll give me a consume card back every turn, which I really like. Alright. So play Carrier. Missed the roll. That's a bummer. How do I approach this? I can make this work by going Antigen Mimic. That's pretty strong. I like that draw there. That's nice. I'm going to daze the guy downstairs. We're going to get rid of the penance. The cryogenic storage can bring that back in a pinch. So the nice thing about that and why I care is I can drop Carrier's guy down next turn if I so desire. Yes. Fine. Okay. If I can't draw a better solution, right? There are better solutions. Yeah, like Feverish Response is a better solution here. For sure it is, right? Hooray, we get the thing. Now, unfortunately, that draw order does leave something to be desired, but that's okay. I could potentially drop the cryogenic storage here, which is not terrible, I suppose. Yeah, actually, I will play that. That seems good. And then this is going to protect my card draw in a big way. So, great, I think. Okay. Now, I'm not going to play out the Quick Tome here, I don't think. We go Virion, it's nice. We go Ultimate Penance and don't touch anything else. Now, I think the Resolve trigger happens on this turn, but it should hold on to this card, I think. Yeah, alright. It's good. It's great, in fact. Big fan. Alright, cool. And we get the Spell Chain, which is a great pickup. I'm going to go ahead and drop Room for Growth here, which is good. They kill some enemies. Fantastic. We only take 2 curses. Well, you know, we're taking 3 actually, which is suboptimal. I'm going to go ahead and drop double Virion by killing one of my own Virion. Great. Which lets me play all of these cards. I have to be cautious about this reserve trigger because if I play it up top, everything descends and they fight twice, which is not... I literally just did it. You know... Okay, alright. I I literally was like, yeah, I gotta be careful. And then I accidentally pressed end turn after discussing it with myself. Don't look at me, alright? Don't look at me. This is... What a monster train this is, that's for sure. It is, as I would say, for sure, a monster train. I actually think the right play here is to focus all of the days into the boss. It was such a silly play. I'm like, don't do this thing. And then immediately I did that thing. Whoops. Whoops. It's a bummer. Get him out of here. Play the second guy. More days is your friend. What's that? Okay. Alright, we gotta figure it out now. So... I'm basically eating dirt here because I focused some days into other units, which is a mistake. Mistake, probably. Putting that in spell doesn't matter. Alright, we're gonna go back in. The play is, as originally, I had the right idea the first time. We want to daze the curse thing. We play carrier first to get the antigen mimic in. And then we're going to take draw. I'm going to save the trap shoot, I think. Because it's no purpose playing it on Fel there, right? It literally does nothing. And then here we get... Yeah, we get a lot of options. We will play the cryogenic storage, which gives me Ember back, and I do want to stop these curses as originally. Okay. Alright, seems okay. We're figuring it out. Play the Virion. Play the Curse. And then we get the draw at the end of turn. Yep, alright. So now all I have to do is be careful about Q time whenever I do finally draw it, because that is that's the concerning one, right? Yes. That's the one that gives you some concerns. Okay. We are going to take some curses here, and that is just going to be fine. Play the Razor Sharp up top. Play one buff here. I'll play the other Virion middle, if only because it lets me do all of this. Then we descend the middle floors. Yes. And that Contagion spreads around, which I don't know how effective. It kills a dude at least, which I'll take is pretty cool. That's nice. I do want offense right now, so that's good. He kills a guy, we summon a guy, it's fine. It's a lot of contagion going all around, which is a lot of fun. Big fan of that. Steel Enhancer is good. Alright, we're going to take the buffs. I'm going to play out these curses and draw. I am going to, I think... just blow up one of these friends, I think. Down on lower floors. Sure, seems okay. I'm okay with that. A lot of guys get cleared, which is actually fantastic news. We have 51 contagion on the boss, which is, you know, not what I expected, but I'll take it. It's a good gain. Take some stats here. Unfortunately, not a lot in the way of... ability to get spell damage on her. I'm just going to take card draw here, I think. We're only doing not a lot of damage, admittedly. We do get some, though, right? We are at least doing 300. It's not enough to beat a mini-boss on Divinity. But I think we can pull this off. It's maybe actually bad. Oh, we win because of Contagion. That's funny. I mean, I'm going to go for the trap shoot, and that helps a lot. And then we can take, you know, the Wildwood Tome, which is nice. Doesn't really change too terribly much, but it's something. Hit the boss. Fine, fine, fine. Okay, so we're doing okay. You know, it's a real bummer that Contagion behaves the way it does on Divinity, or else you'd be able to actually stack it up in a meaningful way and use that Macrophage's infusion meaningfully. Experimental cloning device. Summon a copy of a unit from your draw pile to the back of this room. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be a nothing burger spell unless I can get intrinsic on it. Otherwise, it would be very cool, right? It'd be neat. But it's not going to work. So don't do it. Pandemic seems like a basically Inferno, right? Contagion 20 to enemy units and then deal damage to enemy units equal to the amount of contagion on all units. That seems good. It's Inferno, but it also does other stuff. Now, card draw would be a nice pickup here, admittedly. But I am a bit Ember-starved. What am I... I don't think I need the Hellvent. I'm going to go... Unfortunately, no alignment on the magic shops. How do I feel about the Ring 8 Hellvent? I think I need to dupe the Trap Shoot, or we're not going to actually have enough days to really make it work. So I think I need to Hellvent something. So maybe I Hellvent the Ring 7 play. Yeah, I think we Hellvent on Ring 7 and then go Magic Shop. I'm good with that, right? And then that Hellvents the Trap Shoot, so we have 2. We'll start recovering them once we get this infusion in. So that's nice. And then we'll start scaling faster. I'll have to be pretty aggressive on clearing my own units with Razor Sharp offensively on myself, but I think it's wise. Yeah, I think so. Okay, fine. Card draw then? I think card draw then, yes. It's not space. We're going to the right, we've decided. Yes. Alright, give me a -2, it would be nice. Oh, plus 30, you know, it could have been better or worse or something. 10 in piercing on the Pandemic is not terrible. It's actually also not bad on the Feverish Response. I like that. We're doing an infusion anyway, which is Cryogenic Storage. Let me read this. Return a random consumed spell to your hand. It's basically Repeater. So that's pretty good, right? It's basically Repeater. Yeah, we're doing that, for sure. Cool. Now, the 10 in piercing I will take. That's going into a Feverish Response, I believe. 10 in piercing is really effective for frontline targeting. The plus 30 is like, it's fine, but I don't think it actually provides enough value. Like Intestinal Rupture, sure. I could also buy some plus 10s or a 20 and consume for it or something. So I'm not terribly impressed. We have a lot of high cost stuff. I actually think Intestinal Rupture has turned out to be tragically very bad. I think I'm just going to remove this. Yeah, I'm just going to remove that card. And let's see. I don't want to get rid of Virions. They're pretty important. I think the cut here is... Now, it's nothing that gives me health. It might actually be Virion. You're going to see when the quick becomes really useful with Divinity. I might daze him immediately. It's going to depend a little bit on what we see on Ring 7 and 8, because I'm going to be relying on... Let me show you, actually. I'm going to be relying on Patient 02 to scale a lot of regen for the floor, is kind of the thing that matters to me. So that's the goal, right? Patient 02 is we want to play this and go, maybe not mad with power, but functionally become powerful. So I think that's fine. A lot of stuff is so expensive. I need to go to this magic shop really bad. I do think we have to dupe the Trap Shoot, or I don't think we win this run. So the removal here is tough. I think it's just going to be a Virion, actually. I don't need this many when I'm bringing them back pretty consistently. So, and we have the champion to help out with this. Now we should be good on Heaven Seal because of the Root Split Mask, so we should have everything we need, right? So the plan here is you go and you play Mimic. I really should put Mimic first for the scaling to start, because I don't really care about the +10, +5 on him, right? Yeah, then you go, you drop this man in, and we get Big Dude, excellent work. And then you play the Virion, and you can see we already have regen coming out, which is great. And I am going to double daze a man downstairs, because I don't feel like having to deal with it. We get Virion back. You can kind of see how this looks decent, right? The big downside is I desperately need to spend Ember killing my own units. It's actually super important. It's super important, right? Yeah, we're maxed floor space already. So I pretty much need to be aggressively razor sharpening my own floor. Though I do need to be doing damage as well. So, you know, it's tricky. Let's draw 4 here. It's a pretty good play. That's kind of what you're hoping for. We blast this floor. Fantastic. We get a sting. Great work. We actually get this kill. I play 1 guy. He's going to spawn 2. Looks good to me. Oh, no. I did it again. Gah. Oh, my God. This queue time is aggravating. That's not a mechanic I'm used to. You can tell I'm just not thinking about it. Play it the same way. Everything plays the same way. Real bummer. Gross. Alright, moving on. We blast here. I'm going to scale, fine. That's very frustrating. Okay, we have queue time in hand. It's in our hand. Don't make that mistake again. It's in hand. Remember that. See? Neat. Wait, oh no, I descended that floor now. Gosh, that's just funny. What a whiff. Alright, I actually think self-pinging is probably... It's pretty important, but doing damage is pretty important too. I think I'm going to actually just blast this big heavy man here. And we're going to take some buffs. 0 cost Virions are nice, but again, you see the problem. I have simply too much space on the floor. Or rather, not enough units is the thing. Now, I think the play is actually we daze in front, and this actually solves most of our problems, so that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and play a bit into damage here, I think. I do want health, yes. And then I'm going to go down, and we're going to drop those guys down. Alright, this is good. We actually get Trap Shoot back, incredibly. I am going to shoot upstairs. I think that's important. I'm going to shoot again. I need to kill my own units. It's pretty important. I'm going to drop... Yeah, we're going to drop this guy down, right? That, I think, is pretty important. Okay. Alright, how are we doing? We're doing actually fantastic. Great work. They all get killed, I think, which is pretty cool, actually. They all die. I can still play 1 more. Sure. Draw 5 cards. Seems okay to me. Play 1 on bottom floor for funsies. Interesting. Him being there actually ruins the trap shoot. That's okay. Well, whatever. Womp womp. It's okay. We get some root seeds. We'll be fine. It will be fine. We descended. Haha. I wanted to make sure that played that way. Otherwise, it would have been bad. I need to remove that queue time. It's too expensive. And more importantly... Yeah, it's simply too expensive is the problem I'm experiencing here. I do want that health. Yes, we're fine. Okay, we got some days. That's a fantastic roll because I think we were dead otherwise. So that's cool. We just go ahead and double days here and we have the win. Fantastic. And then you can finally drop the Wildwood Tome and things look pretty good here. Fantastic work. We descend. Oh no, I can't move. Stupid queue time. That is a very self-destructive card that takes a lot of getting used to. Mass hallucinations. Daze to all units on the floor where your turn ended. This is interesting because with double stack permafrost, I think you could actually use this kind of like a Light's Gift. It's interesting in that respect, but I don't think it's how we want to use any of this stuff today. Yeah, I don't think we want to do that here. I think we skip. Yeah, fine. Okay, Pyregrow, honestly, yes, I need Ember badly enough that I'll take the -2 draw for it here. We will go to the right, I've decided already, we're taking money. Grant reapplication, earn 25% more money, rounded down to the nearest 5 gold. Well, I'm not going to benefit from that, so I'm not taking that. That's hilarious. Is there a Lightstone casing play here? Not really. I don't need anything from Trap Shoot. Double stack would be funny, but bad also. I'm just going to re-roll this, I think. Lost Luggage, Cursed Vines. Lost Luggage is not bad. Draw Fast is good. I'm actually cutting queue time, by the way. This is a... oh man, I might need this for a mini-boss somewhere along the line. I don't know. It's a frustrating card, I think. It's pretty rough, is the way I would describe it. Holdover here is... honestly, maybe Feverish Response. Pandemic is... expensive. Holdover -1, Cycle of Life. Okay. Could have had a holdover -1/-1, but I think that's fine. I don't need it that badly. The Cycle of Life spikes does increase damage, though, so it's a +3, +10, which I respect. So that's nice. What if you hold over queue time? And you just lock things down permanently? It's really weird, but totally doable. It's actually really strange, but totally doable. Is it actually cracked, maybe? I don't know. Because when you have a holdover reserve card, you always redraw it. Whoops. Maybe it's cracked? I don't know. I'm going to try this nonsense. It might matter. I do have to give it a -1 if I'm doing that, but that's fine. Spin this. I'm buying the other -1 for sure. I wish for cards to not be expensive. Remove Consume. I mean, you could go Remove Consume Pyregrow as an option. How much Ember do you need? Probably not that much, if I'm being real with you. Removal-wise, it's interesting. I actually think you drop Room for Growth. We're looking to bring back more consume cards, but this one is a toughie to play, and we have better choices. Actually, you know, Remove Consume Pyregrowth, it has a benefit in that it stops being a target for my Resolve trigger, so I'm actually going to click that, I think, as weird as it sounds. Let's see, other removal stuff. I think we can afford to keep the rest of these, right? They're all pretty decent. Pandemic is a good card if I ever get a chance to play it. So I'm okay with that. I'll purchase Lost Luggage for sure. I'm going to take the money for Cursed Vines here, because it means anytime I'm not drawing to full, I can kill my own units with the Cursed Vine target. So that's pretty good. As far as the last removal, I'm tempted to say it should be a Root Seeds because it's still expensive and I have other tools for this, but I think it's really in practice just a Virion. Viral Outcropping is a more efficient Virion, is the big advantage here, so when I start having enough Ember that I'm okay, I think we are better to play that. Yeah, I'll cut one of those. Alright, 160 out of 100, I think we move on. I think we have a win in here. It should get there. Now, it's weird to play, but we should get there. Okay, first order of business is we want to put down the Mimic first. Yes. Then we go Carrier, which buffs Hermit, which is good. Now, I do want to Mega Daze the boss here. Get these things out of there. And then let's toss a Virion on. Okay. Summon a bunch of things. It's fine. They're all going to attack, and that is okay. We're going to use these to self-ping. I will Pyrogrow for sure. Root Seeds. Draw and buff a thing. It's all good. I will not do it again. I'll play a Rail Spike. Oh, man. Q time, getting hit by that is pretty good. I can pretty much avoid fighting a unit whenever I so feel like it. Like, I can just Shadow Realm this Dark Wings forever, right? It's actually pretty awesome. Yeah, he just gets Ice Cubed, which is pretty great, I think. I do actually need to improve my stats, or we're in a pretty bad situation, I think. So, that's something to keep in mind. Go ahead and play Viral Outcropping here. I think it's good. We finally draw a Razor Sharp Edge in some fashion, which is nice. I can then, again, keep this man in shadows. Razor Sharp, good roll. I'm not going to take the Wildwood Tome quite yet. The goal is I want units to shoot my units here. Razor Sharp Edge. Razor Sharp Edge. Do it again. Keep clicking the card. We're going to blast. I'm actually going to let this sit, I think, and we're just going to daze the heck out of the boss here. That seems pretty decent. So we definitely win Relentless, which I like. Guy in the back is accidentally passing away, and none could tell you why. Let's just lock down this friend now. Seems good to me. A lot of shots coming through, but that's okay. They'll heal up. I'm not worried about it, right? Not a problem. We just immediately go, what, like double Viral Outcropping here, and we're cruising. So, no issues there. All of them die. Great work. I'm going to just play Pyrogrow again. We can keep actually playing our cards now, which is fine. Fantastic. We continue locking down Mr. Darkwing's man, which is fine by me. Accidental armor given to everyone on the floor, which is pretty funny, but that's okay. A lot of just accidental contagion going everywhere there, which is fine. Play a Virion. We've already full healed our guy. I think we figured it out. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. And then we just continue locking these guys into the ether until they basically never get played again. Never do a thing. Cool. Seems good to me. Alright. We have, fortunately, plenty of Ember now. We've solved the dilemma of how do I play my cards, which is fantastic news. Incredible work, in fact. Draw a card. Hey, look. Pyrogrow, again. Incredible. I'm going to keep locking down this idiot. It's incredible news. Now, we should win here, I think. I have 5 days left. I could avoid further problems by not... Basically, the play is not to... I mean, I could blow up mid-floor, which is pretty cool, right? That seems good. And then I lock people down on bottom floor, and that's nice as well. Yeah, seems good. And I think we let this sit. Our goal is hopefully to hit one of these trap shoots for Relentless, I think. Yeah, I think that's accurate. We go ahead and lock down this other friend. Incredible work. We have a million Ember here. Fantastic. Cool. Now I am going to play a Viral Outcropping here. Seems good to me, in my opinion. Do I need it? 3 turns? I think I might. We'll try it. See if I can roll into it. Yeah, we didn't see it. I think we're okay. Quick, I think, helps. It's an extra round. It was... You know what? I'll tell you right now, it's closer than I think anyone wanted. Yikes. It's okay, we can add damage to the floor and it makes it exclusively stronger. Let's not mess around. We don't do a lot of damage. I am going to be relying on actually pulling those back, aren't I? Yes. I think we're going to be stronger on the Divinity because our regen is wide, not tall, which is interesting, but good to keep in mind. I think so. Yeah, I think we'll be okay here, as long as I remember not to accidentally descend my floor for the 3rd time. Good grief. Alright, first order of business, 100% lock down the enemy boss. Mission critical. We will play our friend first. Carrier comes out. Hermit. Great work. Okay. I will play not a Virion. Actually, just chill with our 1 Ember right now, so I always get the trap shoot back. Actually, in my opinion, pretty important, I think. Alright, I wish to draw a card. I wish to ping myself out there. I wish to Q time something, I think. It's interesting because it holds over even if I don't do anything with it. So I can just blast a guy here and then press end turn on middle and they drop anyway, which is cheeky as heck, I think. I would describe it as cheeky as heck. Alright, we draw some offense here, which is fantastic news. Hey, wait, it didn't come back? That's not correct. Bone Dog with holdover reserves correctly and comes back to your top of your deck. Ooh, alright, that's news to me, I suppose. Huh. Well, good to know, I suppose. I'm going to blast this man in front here. I think that's decent. He shoots a couple times. Well done, bud. We get some summons. We're getting a lot of trap shoots here, which is great. Big fan. Cool. We're just mega disabling the boss here, which, if I'm looking at the numbers, I can safely say is the correct play. We're going to go... I'm going to do 150 damage here, I think. Yeah, we're going to Shadow Realm a dude so I can immediately Virion, play the Circle of Life, Business, Cycle of Life rather, and then we chill. A lot of guys get shot, but it's okay. We clear the floor out. Cool. Now this top floor is a little dicey, but I think we'll be alright. Razor Sharp does a lot of work here. Play the Pyre Grow. Seems good to me. Pandemic is not bad. It's decent upstairs too, admittedly. It's very strong downstairs. Kills a whole guys, which is fine. I think I'm more worried about the bosses here, so I'm going to go ahead and Pandemic middle, which kills the man in front. That's pretty cool. And then I'm going to blast a guy, which is fine. I'll play the Rail Spike here. We are summoning, and I'm not too terribly afraid of it, right? Because they are all locked down, right? So, and I'm basically doing all my damage by sweep anyway, so it's fine. Give me damage scaling. Yes. Good. I can also technically pull this guy forward if I'm actually concerned about it. So, that's not terrible to add some damage to the floor. And again, I can Q time him so he's rooted for a year, right? I could also Shadow Realm him a bit if I'm thinking about it. Seems good to me, honestly. Yeah, okay, fine. A lot of armor generated, but I don't really care that much. He's rooted for like a millennia, right? So, it's fine. Wow, actually killing my dude up here. That's extremely rude, in fact. Put another guy in front? Huh. That's no bueno. I don't like it. It's because he's trampling all the guys that are tanking for me. So if I pull you forward and put health in middle, he does make it. Yikes. I'm going to go ahead and root the guy downstairs so I don't have to think about him ever again. That seems fair. I can always play the quick when I want to get out. But it's advantageous to let these guys get cleared for the time being. So I'm not doing it. Yet. Right? And guy's getting absolutely Shadow Realmed here. That's not good. I see why. We're going to pull this forward and shoot it out. And then we play the Virion, which saves the day. Spicy. Very spicy indeed. Sting mid-floor. This guy's rooted, which means he is stuck in the Shadow Realm. So we're going to do it on the next guy now. We should conceivably get out of here, right? I think so. Yeah, he lives. Alright, great work. I'm going to go ahead and Contagion downstairs simply because it gets rid of all of the curse guys, which I think is really important. And then we can tank some things up here. That's a good play. Can add some damage. There's no way the boss defeats me thanks to the power of 12 days. It's good. I can just lock down the guy on mid-floor now. It's one of the cool things. I actually could have held on to that and it would have dropped the whole floor, which is funny, right? But we're actually chilling anyway. I mean, the Wildwood Tome, we're good, right? There's no fear. None whatsoever. And we get Viral Outcropping. We have a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean we have a lot of regen that we're applying, which is great. The best way to lose this run is to end turn Q time here, which is extremely funny. Be a really funny way to lose is by ending turn on top floor. It's okay, I remembered not to do it. Look at me, I'm actually learning or something. Alright. Whew, okay, decent. So what did we learn? We learned that Bioengineer is a bad all-in path. It's a good tutor because you always have intrinsic on it. It's basically baby intrinsic channel song. You know how I make fun of Architect Penumbra and call it intrinsic space prism, the champion? It's the exact same situation, right? It's intrinsic channel song, the champion. But, you know, a little worse because I haven't invested all the paths in it. It's a great tutor because it's on the turn when you really want to do this. So 2 banner units are playable. This is also something that only really worked because I got a -1 space. I could have, you're right, taken an intrinsic on one of those 2 costs plus 2 space cards, but it's really expensive. It would have been really hard to articulate that Ember on that turn. Maybe it's possible, but it would have been tricky. Regardless, I think this worked out pretty well. We summoned 2 recombinant viruses, which immediately trigger our research notebook. We are immediately pulling out both Husk Hermit and the Mimic on turn 1. The Mimic did fine as a tank. I think culture in general struggles in this clan because everything that cultures is consume. There's nothing I've seen that is repeatable other than, what, Simplex virus? And I think that's just like it's not a good banner unit, but it's a necessary banner unit, which is frustrating, right? Because it's not fun to play with. You're like, all right, I'm just taking this thing as a vessel for a purpose. So it's not like, oh yeah, you never get hype seeing that guy, but he's an important part of the plan because sometimes you just need to make things. And making things in a clan like this, you'd think making things, summoning units would be easier. It's actually really hard. It's really difficult. All of the other clans that do it, right? Imps. Imps are great because you can give an imp endless, right? You've got endless all over the place, right? You can literally create imps with Imp Parade. Fantastic. Great. Dregs. I have reforms. I can keep bringing them back. Shade Splitters. I can just keep making morsels. Every other clan that makes units does it way better than the clan that wants you to actually make units. And I get that part of that is a balancing thing, right? I mean, because, for instance, obviously, Wormkin is very powerful if you can jam a lot of things out of floor, but it also has no ways to expand the floor, has no space increases. That's very intentional. That means it plays nicely with specifically things like +1 space boss relic, but also Umbra, right? It's intentional. So that's not a problem necessarily that it's not good at the thing it wants to do. But I do think that it probably could use some, I don't know, just like like a common that doesn't consume. A good example of this, actually, I think viral outcropping is a bit of a missed opportunity, right? I feel like this card would be better if it just... it should just be better than Virion, but not cost more, right? This a great example of this is compare something like... Trying to think of a great example of this. Okay, like a good ping, right? So compare Hornbreak to Torch. Universally, you would say obviously Hornbreak is better. There's a reason for that. It's a common card. There's an opportunity cost for it. You don't always see it, right? Same thing should be true of viral outcropping. This is actually, I think, the right way of balancing this clan is to give common cards that achieve the clan's goals. You might not always see them, right? But if viral outcropping were, say, 1 cost, same ability, no consume, that card would actually help this clan a lot. And I don't think it would be broken because it's a common. It's certainly not stronger than something like Fledgling Imp, but it is enabling. And that's similar to a lot of the other clans and what they have. So I think you can actually do a lot of good for this clan simply by buffing viral outcropping specifically. And maybe you need one other common card that summons units in some kind of an interesting way, right? It doesn't all have to be recombinant viruses. Maybe you can do something else. I don't know. Maybe... Actually, I think a really important part of this clan that I didn't even mention here is the cryogenic storage. It's actually a really good card because it brings back Virions, and I think that's actually mission critical to the whole strategy here. So I think that is something to keep in mind as well. I like cryogenic storage as a good uncommon solution to this problem by returning consume cards. I actually think, almost annoyingly, that the resolve trigger on the infusion is just so superior, but I also am glad that it does something when you activate it. I actually think the card is kind of good. Like, it's well designed, in my opinion. I like this one because for a 1-space Garbo unit, I don't want to fit him on my floor. He's hard to fit on the floor. This clan doesn't support that very well, right? I don't want another Wildwood Custodian. That doesn't seem very effective here. But being able to hold on to him and then just airdrop him in and get a whole bunch of cards back. Now that's strategic. I like that. I can play it when I want to, and I can also bring back a lot of stuff at once and have a big turn, right? That's cool. Or I can stick its infusion into a beefcake like this, who I'm already putting on my floor, and that seems good. Then you're just getting some stuff back. I don't really think it needs the -10 attack on this, right? So I don't think that's particularly helpful. This infusion claims it adds frozen. It doesn't. My guy doesn't have permafrost. That's a bug. That is a tooltip error. Definitely didn't get frozen. I'm looking at this and I'm like, all this thing needs is the resolve trigger. I don't need anything else. In fact, It actually would make more sense if it gave like 5 health or something instead of taking away attack. This is not the kind of ability you're going to be like, ah, yes, and now I put this on my Animus of Will. No, you're not doing that, right? It's a whatever. It's a nothing burger subtraction. It doesn't really do anything meaningful. But regardless, I mean, regardless of the individual stats, which are very minuscule in the grand scheme of things, the ability itself is very important, I think. A good means to solve this. I think if the clan had like one more common card that solved this, that would be great. Look at the logbook real quick and vaguely think about this, because I think there's a good opportunity in the commons to help this out. Viral outcropping, I like this. The change I think that would really help here, this is the big win here, 1 cost, no consume. Seems strong, that's okay, right? Because it requires lots of synergies, which I think is good. I think intestinal rupture needs to target allies or enemies. Right? I think you need to be able to self-ping with this. This is a extremely unfortunate problem to have, right? You could word this like deal 2 damage and apply Contagion 6 if deal 2 damage to a unit, apply Contagion 6 if it's an enemy. Or maybe that's too many words. I don't know. Maybe just let me apply Contagion 6 to myself. I don't know. And make it work intelligently. I don't know. It's tough because I really think you want to self-ping here. Really think it's actually super important that this be able to self-ping. It's a real bummer that, I literally removed it. It was essentially bad. Let's see. I think Hurried Exit is probably fine as is. It's a very strong effect. I think this is in a decent place. Swarm Tactics, I think it's fine. I think it got like quadruple nerfed simultaneously. It got more expensive, less scaling, no health, single target. So it's a little low efficiency right now, but it's still damage, right? I probably still take this in the right build, so it's fine. Let's see, what else can I do? I think the other part that they're really hoping is they really hope that Replicate... I really feel like Replicate I haven't grasped in a meaningful way. I just don't see the cases where it makes me feel good to take it. So that's something to keep in mind. I should watch for possible Replicate synergies. The problem, of course, is that with Virion and recombinant viruses in general, they are spawned with cardless, right? Because you don't get them, they're not cards in your hand that you play. So giving them, which are the main things you want to have replicate doesn't work. So even though this is a 0 cost consume, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe you need Replicate to be when this unit dies, summon a copy. Then I would take it. I could immediately see the benefit. Probably a little bit abusable. Maybe you cost it a little more, but then we're cooking, right? I think then that's cooking. Maybe that's a cool way of doing it. Anyway, we'll try some other stuff, and I'll have probably more opinions on this as we go along. But regardless, great fun, and it's a win. We'll take it. So, hey, thanks a lot for watching this. I really appreciate your time. As always, you can give the video a like if you want. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and stay tuned for what's next. Take care, folks.